Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hobby Night Gaming, and today we are going to be playing Stories from Seoul, the Gundog. Let us begin. September 21st, Planetary Calendar 209. Following a raft of oppressive policies and crackdowns from the Earth-based government of the Solar Federation, the joint forces of the Martian territories and the Jovian Unified Colony Fleet rebelled. This conflict came to be known as the Solar War. The war carried on for 3 years, but eventually the combined forces of the Martian territories and Jovian Unified Colony Fleet managed to push the Federation military all the way back to planet Earth. In the final days of the conflict, a pitched battle was fought in lunar orbit that would decide the war's victor. Lunar orbit, aboard the Jovian carrier JFS, GQuuuux. You reflexively tighten your grip on your armor frame's twin flight sticks as another wave of vibration reverberates through the cockpit. The creak of your new flight suit and your quickening breath are the only sound that you hear above the gentle hum of the frame's subsystems. As you squeeze the controls tighter, their plastic casings creak under the pressure. You try and stay calm, knowing that these gentle vibrations are remnants of the huge shockwaves that are buffeting the GQuuuux, the carrier that you're currently stationed on. Each one is a near miss as an explosion tears through the space around the ship. You try to push the thought from your mind and focus on controlling your breathing, but you've already realized that their frequency means the GQuuuux must be approaching the front line. Your squadron will be launching soon, and you'll be engaging in your first real sortie, your first real fight, in fact, and flight. You feel your throat tighten. Simulations are as good as the real thing. That's what your trainer told all of you. But you know that pilots are supposed to have hundreds of hours of live flights and training exercises in real armored frames before they're allowed anywhere near the front lines. Of course, that didn't happen. Command had told you that modern simulators meant cadets could graduate without the need for these exercises. You'd overheard the rumors, though. The Jovian colony fleet had lost a lot of pilots and, still wanting to keep pace with the Martian advance against Earth, had resorted to fielding anyone who could fight. Your whole squadron is just like you, freshly conscripted from Europa colony. You'd undergone basic training there, but almost all of your flight training had taken place on the cruiser's journey from Jovian space. You wonder how the others are feeling right now, whether...
GQuuuux 5, this is flight deck. We're preparing your squad for takeoff, running the last-minute diagnostics on your frame, activating all systems. Now. Alright, looks all good to go. We'll run a few more checks, then we'll have you spaceborne in a few minutes. You ready to show those Terrans who's boss?
Alright, damn straight. Ready to kick some ass.
Yeah. Can't wait to get out there. I'm gonna...
You stammer, trying your best to convince not the engineer but yourself that you're ready for what's waiting for you.
Whoa, take a breath there, GQuuuux 5. It's not gonna be that bad out. No need to get all riled up out here in the hangar. Tell you what, pilot, what's your name?
What's your first name, pilot?
My first name is Jack. My surname? Chaos.
He, him? Jack Chaos? That right? Yes, it is. Okay, Ensign Chaos. I should have gone with Cultist for Ensign Cultist. It doesn't matter. Okay, Ensign Chaos. First up, take a few deep breaths for me.
In and out, nice and slow. You got that?
I draw in one long, measured breath and hold it, then release it. Following the engineer's instructions, I repeat this a few times. After a while, I begin to feel my pulse slow and some of the tension in my body slip away. I still feel on edge, but feel slightly more in control. I've decided it's a little bit easier if I read it in first person for myself.
All right, there we go. Now listen up, Ensign. You ain't got a thing to worry about out there. Way I've heard it is that all the Terran's best pilots were taken care of between here and Mars. Heck, Martians are the ones who've been leading the charge today, so they're the ones taking all the flack. Propaganda machines selling this as our decisive strike against Earth's last line of defense. But between you and me, it ain't nothing more than a mopping up situation. Buddy of mine in operation said as much in the canteen last night. Besides,
you hear a dull ring over the comms and sit bolt upright in your seat, slouching back and exhaling as you realize it's nothing more than the engineer striking the cockpit armor on the frame.
This beauty here is a work of art. Terran Frames ain't got nothing on her. She's all turned up and ready to go. Probably spent more time with this one than I have with my own kid. So don't you worry. Remember what they taught you in training and leave the rest to her, and you'll come out of this just fine.
I'm switching between your and mine. I'm trying to decide which one works better. Forgive me. Despite your startled reaction a moment ago, the engineer's confidence is infectious and it's starting to rub off on you. You adjust your position in your seat so that you're sat up straight, and the soft hum of the frame's systems now seem more comforting than ominous. Just a mopping up operation, you think. Martians have done all the work, so we're just sitting pretty here in our top-of-the-line frame. Yeah, nothing to worry about.
So, Ensign Chaos, how are you feeling about things now?
Yeah, feeling good, ready to go. Yeah, I'm ready to get out there and kick some ass. You declare, channeling your newly tapped well of confidence.
That's the spirit, Ensign. Now hang on to that and we'll have you out of those hangar doors and kicking Terrans around in no time.
Left alone with your thoughts, you tune back into the gentle hum of the frame. You watch the seconds tick away on the cockpit clock whilst you wait for the order to launch. The wait seems to drag on and on. You carry out a last few minute flight. You carry out a few last-minute flight checks as you'd already completed them when you boarded. Nothing has changed. All right, pilots, listen up. This is GQuuuux 1. We've been cleared for launch, so be ready for immediate action. All frames will be taking off in designation order. Attack formation, sound off.
GQuuuux 2 ready?
This is GQuuuux 3 ready.
GQuuuux 4 here, ready for takeoff.
GQuuuux 5, confirm your status. Yeah, GQuuuux 5, standing by. Keep it together, GQuuuux 5. GQuuuux 6.
GQuuuux 6, yeah!
All right, GQuuuux Squadron, move out. GQuuuux 1 launching. GQuuuux 2 launching. GQuuuux 3. GQuuuux 4 moving out. I love the animation in this. Oh, I hope that's the enemy. The roll call of your squadron as they depart from the ship and accelerate rapidly toward the combat zone sounds almost like a countdown to you. Once GQuuuux 4 has declared their launch, you know your time has come. You disengage the restraints and prepare yourself. GQuuuux 5 launching! You shout as you slam the Flight 6 forward for maximum thrust.
GQuuuux 5, abort launch. Cut thrusters. GQuuuux 5, abort launch. Cut thrusters.
The engineer's instructions barely register in the confusion as you're jerked around the cockpit, your helmet slamming on the control panel as a brief moment of thrust throws you back into your seat before you're whipped forward again. Warnings flash all over your monitors, and sirens and alerts sound from all over the cockpit.
Colleague 5, abort launch, and cut thrusters.
It takes a few seconds for you to comprehend the engineer, but once you do, you quickly pull the flight sticks back to their neutral position. The roar of your frame's engines dies and your cockpit regains its previous stillness. You wince as the metallic taste of blood fills your mouth.
All right, Colleague 5, hang tight for a moment. Your frame's restraints didn't accept the disengage command, so you're still attached to the Colleague. We're going to need to run a diagnostic. Shouldn't take too long.
You slump in the cockpit's chair and exhale deeply, your heart still pounding 1,000,000 beats per minute and your lips stinging. You continue to slow your breathing as you listen to the still open communications channel from the maintenance crew as they work to get your frame released. Yeah. It looks like the restraints disengage command in. Yeah. Unit 5. All right, yeah.
Get out. Get Unit 6 out. No sense waiting for this one. Okay, start the diagnostic, then reboot if necessary. Week 6, launching.
Yep, there goes Buddy.
What do you mean the hardware fault? We checked this 10 times since Mars, at least. Who was assigned Unit 5? Oh, for the... Fine, right. Shut down systems and run the diagnostic again. I want this frame out there in the next 5 minutes. Colleague 5, we're going to shut down your frame systems for a moment so we can run diagnostics. Stay ready, though. We'll have you launching soon.
Colleague 5, understood. Ready and waiting. As your cockpit fades to darkness again, you release the flight sticks and suddenly realize just how long you've been clenching your fists around them. You flex your fingers and roll your shoulders, exhaling again as you begin to hear the muffled sounds of the engineers working on your frame's restraints. Staring at the dead monitor, you slowly begin to smile. This was what you wanted, wasn't it? You'd spent so long worrying about this mission that you'd thrown up twice in the past 24 hours, and now it looks like all that was for nothing. Oh, you'd got what you wanted, and you were safe. As safe as you can be, strapped to the outside of a military carrier in an inactive armored frame anyway. Your smile widens inadvertently at the thought, getting shot down in an inactive frame still in its restraints. You'd become a cautionary tales for engineers and pilots throughout the entire Jovian colony fleet. Your mind quickly turns to the rest of your squadron. When they returned, you'd be the laughingstock of the entire Colleague. The pilot who'd spent their entire first mission stuck in a dark cockpit. You dodged a bullet, but you'd never...
Yeah, this is Colleague 6. Oh, they've cut off the flight path. There's more. There's a whole squadron of carriers coming in from E-Field. Colleague 1. They're going to cut you off from the fleet.
Colleague 6 suddenly disappears as you sit bolt upright as you begin pressing buttons trying to activate your cockpit's main monitor so you can at least see what's going on. However, with your frame system shut down remotely by the maintenance crew, you can do nothing but sit in the dark stillness and listen to events unfold. Colleague 6, respond. Colleague 6. What's going on? How many carriers are coming in from E-Field?
Ma'am?
Oh, it's a woman. My apologies.
Colleague 6's signal has been lost. It's not responding. Ma'am, he's...
Hold it together, Colleague 4. All units, form up. Defensive formation on me. I said all units. Colleague 2, don't break formation.
Ma'am, they're firing on us. There's so many of them. Oh my god. Ma'am, help.
In an instant, your communications channel is flooded of cries. of terror and panic. You hear your squad mates, your fellow pilots, exclamations of fear as this unexpected enemy force bears down on them. Screams and yelps, wails and howls fill your head as you sit powerless in the dark confines of your cockpit.
Hey! Hey! Who's out there? Engineering! Hey! Get me ready! I can help! Get me ready to launch! Engineering! They're getting killed out there! I need to go now! You shout, demanding to get your frame ready for launch over the channel, but are met with no response. In the dark of the cockpit, with your controls unresponsive, you can't be sure whether the channel is closed or if no one's listening, with all the attention turned to receiving the battle damage units from your squad. Listen to me! Anyone! Anyone! Get me out of here! You desperately begin attempting a manual override of your systems, but find that nothing responds to you. The only spark of life that you can glean from your frame is the small diagnostic progress bar. I need to be out of here! Anyone! Hey! In one last desperate attempt, you begin hammering on your cockpit walls, hoping to get the attention of the engineers you could hear outside earlier. The entire time, the chaos of the combat out in space is narrated to you in broken fragments of radio chatter. There's 3, 4 on me! Oh god, I've lost my shield, I can't shake them! They're everywhere, The ship's line of retreat's totally cut off. We can't get back to the ship. Man, what do we do? What do we do? Stop panicking and form up. 3 and 4 on me. We're going to punch a hole through their formation and... Ma'am! Ma'am! Come in! Oh, ma'am! Oh, no! Oh, God! One by one, your squad signals disappear, and the cacophony of the panic disappears, replaced by the gentle hiss of static. You stop hammering on the side of your cockpit as the last voice is cut off. You're drenched in a cold sweat now, and your enemy and your empty stomach feels like a rock has sunk to the bottom of it. You lean back and stare blankly ahead. This is GQuuuux 5. Ready for takeoff.